Hello and welcome to another episode of The Tipping Point, a UFC stat show right here on the Monkmatics channel. I am your host Monk, aka The Monkmatician, and in this series, we take one fight on the upcoming UFC card, in this case UFC 267, and we break it down, all the stats that you need, all the odds, all the betting lines, everything that you could need. So if you don't know, fighter A, fighter B, I don't know which to choose. Hopefully, by the end of this video, we will tip you in the right direction. And as you can see, Jan Blachowicz going against Glover Teixeira is this episode's fight. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira, light heavyweight title fight. Blachowicz, 6'2", 78-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 38 years old. 28-8 professionally, 11-5 in the UFC. He has 44% of his total fights have gone the distance, 11 wins, 5 losses, 8 wins by knockout, 2 losses, and then 9 submission wins as well. Excuse me, 1 loss. Glover Teixeira, actually I'm not moving on yet. Jan Blachowicz, 12.67 minutes average fight time, 4.47 average ass whoop index. That is 14th highest in the UFC, 14th highest in the light heavyweight division, 40 fighters in my database for that division. 0.82 power index, pretty good, 19th highest, and a 0.18 chin dex, so not perfect, but not too high, 14th best in the division. Glover Teixeira on the other side, 6'2", 76-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 41 years old. In fact, he will be 42 by the time this fight kicks off on Saturday. 32-7 professionally, 15-5 in the UFC. Let's see here. 53.85% of his total fights have ended by way of knockout TKO. 18 wins, 3 losses. He also has 9 submission victories, no sub losses there. Average fight time just under 10.5 minutes. 6.85 ass whoop index. That is 10th highest in the division. 0.67 power index and a 0.62 chin dex. So a bit too high there for my liking. 24th out of 40. Blachowicz opened minus 190. Currently sitting minus 288. So a lot of line movement here. Teixeira opened plus 165. Currently plus 230. This fight is minus 230. Does not go to decision. Plus 170 does go to decision. Blachowicz has one of the best inside the distance odds on the card. 3rd highest, in fact, at a plus 103. I'm capping this fight 56% for Jan, 44% for Teixeira. So not nearly as wide as the bookies, but I rarely am. I'm definitely favoring Jan here, though. Probably more than 56%. Let's check out Jan's record, or his line statistics. He's 2-2 as a favorite. 1-0 when he has implied odds greater than or equal to 65%, which we are well above here. I mean, he opened at above a 65%. Just interestingly, he's not an underdog, but he is 9-3 as an underdog. 5-1 when he's less than or equal to 35% implied odds. That is incredible. He's been an underdog in 12 UFC fights. I mean, my God, how much have you won if you're just betting Jan Blachowicz all the time? Glover Teixeira, 11-2 as a favorite. Although he is an underdog here. He is 4-3 as a dog and 2-3 when he's less than or equal to 35% implied odds, which he is here. So the odds definitely favoring, or history, definitely favoring Blachowicz. Jan has 4 UFC victories by knockout TKO and 2 submission wins there. Has been knocked out once in the UFC. Glover with 6 knockout wins and 6 submission wins. 2 knockout losses. One was that Gustafsson triple uppercut. My goodness. Lots and lots of round 1 finishes here for these guys. 8 combined. 7 in the second and 2 in the third. Even a couple of 5th round finishes there. Basic striking data. When I say strikes, I do mean significant strikes. Jan lands 3.59 per minute at a 49.5% accuracy. Gets hit with only 2.79 per minute at a 53, almost 54% defense. So pretty good numbers there all around. Ends up with a positive differential of 0.80, 14th highest in the light heavyweight division. Positive striking efficiency. Has spent 58.68% of his total fight time fighting at distance. Let's see here. When he throws more than 100 significant strikes, he lands 4.25 a minute. And that has happened in 6 fights. He wins 5 out of 6 of those fights. 6 knockdowns in the UFC, 0.44 knockdown per 15 rate. That is a bit below average in the division. Only 1 knockdown against. Let's see, Teixeira, 3.58 strikes landed per minute, so just 0.01 less than Jan Blachowicz. 48.92% accuracy. Gets hit with 3.88 strikes a minute at a 54% defense. Ends up with a negative striking differential of 0.30, 30th highest in the division. Positive efficiency, spends a little bit less than Blachowicz fighting at distance, 53.87% of his total fight time. When Glover throws over 100 significant strikes, which has happened in 6 fights as well, his number goes from 3.58 to 4.59 per minute, and he's won 4 out of 6 of those fights. He's scored 5 knockdowns in the UFC, and he's been knocked down 5 times as well. Although he has only lost 50% of the fights in which he has been knocked down. Basic takedown data. 1.18 landed for Blachowicz at a 53% accuracy. Gets hit with less than 1 per 15 minutes. 65, almost 66% defense. So nothing to brag about, but not too terrible. Takedown efficiency, 7th best in the division. 19.12%. Teixeira on the other side. Lands 1.95 per 15 minutes at a 40% accuracy. Throws more than double of what Jan throws. Gets landed with 1.95 against per 15 at a 60% defense. So 5.5 points less than Jan as far as takedown defense goes. But he does shoot the 8th highest amount of all light heavyweights in the 4.4%. Basic control time data. This is where Glover flips the script here. Jan Blachowicz, 15.38% for, 25.93% against. That is almost a 2-to-1 ratio. Almost. Spends 41.32% of his total fight time fighting inside the distance. Only controls 37% of that fight time. Does not have a great get-up time towards the bottom of the division. His hold-down time is about average. Control time activity rate, not where you want it to be. 24th in the division. Teixeira on the other side. Almost 29% control time, 8th highest in the light heavyweight division. 17% against, so a positive ratio there. 46% of his total fight time has been fought inside the distance, and he controls majority of that time at 62.8%. His get-up time is in the top 10, less than 80 seconds. Hold-down time is in the top 15 for the division, has a better control time activity rate as well. Submission data. 2 of 3 submissions successful for Blachowicz. Has defended the 1 submission put on him. Teixeira, I don't know what that math is off the top of my head. 6 out of 13, I would say. Successful submissions. 9th highest submission success rate in the division. Has defended 4 submissions successfully for 100% there. Has the 9th highest submission attempt rate in the division, 0.85. Advanced significant striking data. Most of this is going to Jan, with a few sporadic categories for Teixeira, but most of these are not close. He has great defensive numbers for the most part. Offensively, he's pretty much average, though. Glover with the head striking and the clinch and ground striking. Actually, Glover has the best ground strike, highest ground strike landed per minute in the division at 1.43. He throws almost 2 ground strikes a minute on average, 2nd highest. That is impressive. Advanced significant striking efficiency and differentials, positive efficiency across the board for Blachowicz. His differentials, 0.86 differential per minute to the head, 0.88 from distance. The rest are pretty average. Teixeira with negative efficiencies in 3 categories, negative differentials in 4 categories. His best category being the ground, 0.81 differential positive per minute. Blachowicz, 79.5% of all the significant strikes he throws are targeted to the head, 13 to the body, and 7% to the legs. Glover is 90% to the head, 8% to the body, and less than 1% to the legs. So you definitely don't have to worry about Jan's legs in this one. In fact, was it? Yeah, it was the Reyes fight where Jan was the one destroying him with kicks. It looked like he got stabbed on his right side. Oh my god, I just rewatched that. It looked awful. The welt he had. It looked like it was actively bleeding. He got kicked so hard so many times. Anyways, Blachowicz and Teixeira, last 5 fight statistics. Both men are 5-0, and we're pretty much going back and forth here as far as who's better where. But we'll get into the differentials. 1.7 strikes per minute positive difference for Blachowicz in the last 5. Negative differential for Teixeira. Positive takedown differential for both guys. Negative control time differential for Jan Blachowicz. 28% for Glover. Huge number. Ass whoop index for Jan, 11.2. That is gigantic. 1.15, a huge power index and a perfect chin dex. Teixeira, an even bigger ass whoop index in the last 5, 12.85. A smaller power index, but he is still getting a knockdown, and the chin dex, not where you want to see it, 0.74. Has been knocked down twice in his last 5 fights. Categorical trends, Blachowicz improving everywhere except for one category. His takedown accuracy is up almost 7% in his last 5 compared to his career. His takedown defense is up 34% in his last 5. That is the perfect time to have that kind of increase when it's time to fight Glover Teixeira. Teixeira trending down in 5 categories, improved his striking accuracy 12.5% over his last 5. My goodness. Working with I can't remember his name. I just watched the UFC countdown shows where they, blah blah blah, and he found this. I cannot remember his name. Boxing coach. He found him on the street one day while he was driving, and apparently it's working for him. Improved by 12.5% over his last 5. Man, you love to see that. So Jan's improving his takedown defense for Glover, and Glover's improving his striking for Jan. It just works out perfectly. Strength of schedule, Jan takes this category, and it's not even close. Glover above 70, but not even at 75, and Jan is almost 80 at a couple of these categories. 77.73 strength of schedule. Just really good numbers there. Much better ratios for the most part. Second and third highest on the card compared to 19 and 17. And here's how it breaks down. Blachowicz with wins over Adesanya, Reyes, Anderson, Jacare, Rockhold. Teixeira with wins over Santos, Smith, Krylov, Kutalaba, Roberson. So if you play the name game, you see why Jan wins that strength of schedule pretty easily. Let's keep it moving to some graphs here. Jan, very good striking graph, way above his opponents and still trending up. Love to see it. Takedowns non-existent for his opponents, and he is trending up. The only thing he needs to improve is that control time, and he is trying though. Trending up in that while his opponents trend way down. So we'll see if that evens out a bit more after this fight. Glover Teixeira, working on that striking. He's just below his opponents, but he is trending up while they trend down. Has to do a lot with that new coach, new striking boxing coach. And I'm so sorry I can't remember his name. He deserves all the credit for that. Glover Teixeira, takedown game, more than double his opponents and still trending up. Excuse me. And then also trending up in control time, where he's also doubled up his opponents, more than doubled. So great ground graphs here from Glover Teixeira. And we'll move it along to the visual statistical recap. Basic fight metrics. I mean, look at this area that's taking place here from Jan. Looking fantastic. And then Glover sticking out for that grappling control time. Professional fight finishing metrics. Teixeira never been submitted. Blachowicz has been finished by way of sub once and KO twice. But otherwise pretty even. Teixeira with the much higher power index. Going against that Polish power, Teixeira has a 56% power index compared to 28.5 for Jan. And then strength of schedule, not even close really. Jan overshadowing Teixeira absolutely everywhere. The only place they're even on is that they have not lost in their last 5. And we'll move it on to the last, excuse me, Wow. Last category. I've been talking too long today. I've recorded for like 4 hours today. You'll see when all the videos pop up on YouTube and you're sick of seeing my face. But I do hope you like the thumbnails. I've been working hard. I'm not a graphic designer by any means, but I think they look all right. A little Halloween detail on this one, so gotta love it. Jan Blachowicz, or actually, never mind. Aggregate win-loss and finish rate. I kind of use this to see if a fight's going to finish inside the distance or not. I look at the, obviously the finishes and wins, losses, add those up. If they're over 100, I tend to start to think about playing inside the distance. In their professional career, definitely over 100, 73% finishes and wins, 40% in losses. And then at the UFC, it does go down as you would expect with the better competition. But we're right under 100% here, 69, 23 plus 30. I mean, these guys are old. They're going to be 80 years old combined between the two of them by the time this fight starts. There's no way it's going the distance, I don't think. I mean, Trinaldo and Dwight Grant did just go the distance. Those were 80-year-old guys when you added them up together, so who knows? It is possible. But I don't know, man. I like both guys a lot. I wouldn't be upset if Glover won. I just don't know how he's going to do. He's literally going to have to catch Blachowicz with just a Glover shot. Maybe get a takedown. I mean, submission? I don't know, man. Jan is plus 103 inside the distance. Glover is plus 329 inside the distance, plus 713 by decision. So yeah, Vegas thinks that Glover definitely cannot go 5 rounds. I'll switch it up to my awesome little thumbnail that I talked about. I'm just kidding. Vegas thinks he cannot go 5 rounds, and that if he wins, his most likely chance is inside the distance. By knockout or submission, I'd have to look. I mean, he's got 18 knockout wins and 9 sub losses. And Glover's been finished in both of those manners. So, I mean, what are you going to do? That said, I don't think it's very likely that Teixeira does finish Jan here. I think we're going to have an and still. I just don't see it happening. What a story it would be, though, if Glover did win. I'm definitely not rooting. I'm not rooting for anyone. I'm just rooting for a good fight. But if I'm betting it, I'm not playing Jan at minus 288. It doesn't go to decision, minus 230. Maybe Jan inside the distance at even odds, plus 103 right now. That looks okay. Maybe a sprinkle on Teixeira inside the distance, but even then, I don't know. I don't know about all that. So anyways, I'll stop rambling. We will wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The Tipping Point. Hopefully my stats tipped you in one way or the other if you weren't decided. Be sure to check out my other videos from this week. I've released all 9 prelim breakdowns. I've released the 6 main card breakdowns. And there's at least 2 other Tipping Point videos out there. Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, and then Islam Makhachev and Dan Hooker. I've got much more to come this week, guys. Probably going to take tomorrow off from recording, but I'll be right back on it on Wednesday. So thanks again for watching. Be sure to do your fight tape. Pair it with this Jan Blachowicz Teixeira breakdown, and you will be sure to stack money this weekend. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Arrivederci.